Oh,
I'm
Hi guys.
by the way, when Jill gets that reminder, that has my name on it. I always forget. So Kate, I don't know if I know you. Caitlin, we've met at a distance. Lita.
Kate's from Delaware.
And hey, Lori.
yes. Yes.
So
Kate's our new state.
feel free
Who
to
met
unmute
lots of
yourself.
amazing people in Albany, didn't you?
It was wonderful. Okay, let's jump in since we have
Yes.
limited time today. Okay, the first question, how do you handle multitasking? How do you create a balance between work, relationships, and self-interest? Anybody have any pearls to share about balance? Is anyone balanced here?
I can't say that I perfected that. But I like that eat the frog concept. I didn't realize I was doing that. Now there's a theory to it. So that's really nice to see that that's there. I like that concept.
To do the big one first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I just jump right in there.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Hey, Kate.
Hi, I personally use the um, Pomodoro technique. That the one was the number one. I do 25 minutes. I work on one task and then take a break 5 minutes, kind of get myself, off that my mind, give my mind break, then go back. Sometimes I go back to the same task. All the time I start a new task. Then I'll switch back and forth, but I'll have break. I give break to myself.
Yeah.
So that has helped me. That way I can move all my tasks at the same time, at the same like level, and keep them on track.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Hey, Lita. Anybody else? Does everybody have balanced work, relationships, and self-interests?
So that's a work in progress for me. I don't know about balance. It seems once I have something going on, I have a schedule, I have my tasks, I know what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fire or something to put out, we need this by this time, we need this. So things end up getting pushed just a little bit. So you're reprioritizing again. So that can be challenging, and that happens from time to time.
Yeah. Anybody else? I don't have a full-time job, so I'm feeling for you. I'm remembering back to, those 66-hour weeks at the U. Lori,
All I know,
interrupted you.
check your calendar every morning before you start your day, because I got one of those priorities thrown in on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, hunker down. And then I get this ping, are you coming? I'm like, coming where? And there was a meeting. It's like, so it wasn't the biggest task, but it's like at least work balance. I didn't accommodate for, I just jumped in, and it's like, and I always check my calendar first. So it's like, okay, I've got this bit of time here. I kind of like Kate parse it out, and then I'm working very hard on the 8-hour rule. I write down when I start working, and then I write down what time I'm supposed to stop, so that give or take 30, 45 minutes. But I like, okay, I started at 8:30. I do my finger counting to get to 8.5, because I'm also making sure I take my 30-minute lunch break. I'm just trying to build in the habits that I seem to have lost probably a lot during the pandemic, because everything was so intense at that point in time. You ate and you talked and you wrote all at the same time. But
so I do something similar to Lori, but I do my calendar the night before, because it's too nerve-wracking for me not to know what's happening next day. And then I work from home and I'm a caregiver, so I put everybody on notice about what my schedule is the next day, so they don't have, it minimizes emergencies. I think that really helps me. And the other tip I have is like there, Hemingway used to leave a task unfinished and he wrote the first sentence that he wanted to work on the next day. So like the night before, like, so you can hit the road running kind of, no, it's prioritizing, like, but you've already got to start there, like figuring out how to get yourself started. Okay, those are my tips. Let's find out what you do when you have a tight deadline. How do you manage time under pressure? You balance it on your own back? Do you? Any good tips for time pressures, deadlines?
For me, I'm very lucky that I work in a very collaborative office. So a lot of times if there's a tight timeline, it's like thrown at you and you're processing. So I'll call someone and say, okay, I just got this thrown at me and they want this. And I'm thinking, and I just like, which is how I talk anyway, but it's more fast. And it's like, does this make any sense? And they'll be like, well, what does that mean? And I like kind of talk it out loud because I have to have this to them by 5. So this is a quick conversation, and generally it's like someone in my office area because it'll be related to caregiving or something. And they might know the person who's asking for the information. So, first thing I do is kind of look for some background and then spitball some thoughts I'm having, which when I say it out loud, it's easier for me to remember. And then, or I'll write some things down and then spitball and then I'll hunker down.
Yeah. So information gathering, getting a background, figuring out how to proceed. So you don't stay in the floundering mode.
Yeah, because I find it's really easy to be overwhelmed by those things. Even if you think, even it's like, I got this, it's like, let me just run it by Bernice. Because it's like, talk it out loud. Because once I start, nobody's going to see it until I send it in.
Yeah. That's great. Anybody else have any ideas? Or if you're the person in charge asking others, do you have any tricks for like helping the people who work with you and for you navigate deadlines?
One method that we use is SBAR. It's situation, background, analysis, and recommendation.
Situation, background,
analysis, and recommendation. So if something out of the blue comes up, like we just use that frame, like give a quick, what is the situation, what's the quick background, in a very short brief, and then what is the analysis like currently at the moment, and then what is the recommendation. So this is when I get something like a hot, and it's like, what do I do? So I try to gather all the information and put it in that framework and send it to my boss. And I said, this is my recommendation. This is what I, understood, this my analysis, and I leave it to you. What are your suggestions,
Yeah, I love that. So you take a pause. You don't jump in till you've like collected yourself and you have a strategy for figuring out how to proceed.
Yes.
Okay, a little bit different than Lori's, but the same sort of concept.
Exactly.
Yeah, much more organized.
Yeah, I really
like that it has an acronym and words I can remember.
Yeah, situation, background, analysis, and recommendation.
That's
okay. Anybody else? I always learn a lot from these discussions. Okay, how many time we've got? It says 10 minutes, but I think we're going to be shorter than that.
Just say real quick that sometimes I'll pull in my partners or friends or someone else that can help with data pulling or other information that is needed, so I can focus on whatever the situation is. That usually helps teamwork.
Yeah,
I think that's true. I think a lot of times when things are thrown at us, we think we're like alone.
Yeah.
Like, I have to handle this. Oh, we got 7 seconds.
Oh, that was great. Okay, I just have to say, like, for bosses, Jill always asks me if I'm okay, and if it's like, if it's too much. And just that sort of reassurance that I can say no. I don't think I ever do say no because she doesn't make outrageous asks, but she makes me feel appreciated and like I have options. So shout out to Jill. It could be
I'll give a shout out to Greg. He's like, you know, I know you got this. Do you want to talk about it? You have any questions? You know, just let me know. I'm here.
so you're not
Kind of thing.
you're not hanging out there. Yeah.
Yeah, like I got your back kind of thing. Bosses make a big difference.
Yeah, bosses make a big difference. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Off you go.
Bye.
Bye.